Greetings, and welcome to CIT 262 Group 5 presentation. Our group members consist of Brianna, Ryan, Chris, and myself, Trevon, who will be your presenter for today. The topic for this presentation is how to design your organization and architecture using Conway's law. In many organizations today, there exist teams of developers who work on different projects for the same organization. So often these teams are isolated and located in different branches. I work for such an organization and have seen the effect of Conway's law come to fruition. Conway's law states, organizations which design systems are constrained to produce designs which are copies of the communication structure of these organizations. Basically, this happens due to software solutions mimicking real-life services that need to be automated. I will delve more into the issues that affected the organization I work for and also the solution that fixed those issues in the upcoming slides as we explore how to design the organization and architecture using Conway's law. An organization must be built on solid foundation in order to have a solid structure. And as such, we can build that structure using DevOps principles. The organization I work for was building multiple systems on multiple teams, but all those systems were to be integrated into one massive system called the TMS, or the Training Management System. What eventually happened was the systems were all integrated, but the standards were different. The project lead on Team A believed in tracking user modifications and ensuring an audit trail was left. Team B decided that they only needed to track the last user who entered. This became an issue when the IT director was changed, and she believed in DevOps principles. She started looking at the software and found that things were lacking. The functional methodology was riddled with long work queues and long lead times. It cost the organization money in utilities, time, software licenses, and more. It could have been described as a badly formed functional organization. It had all the right structure. Operations managed the call centers and ensured the organization was supplied with hardware. Technical support had database admins, server admins, network admins, and information security. System development had the junior and senior systems analysts, SharePoint developers, and general web developers. Media services had the graphic artists, the printer specialists, the binders, etc. With all that infrastructure, the organization still saw IT as a non-performing entity due to over-functionality, where projects took weeks to get approved or done due to delays. There are effectively three types of designs we can look at. Functional, which was just described. Matrix-oriented, which at one point became a reality as we started reorganizing teams, and market-oriented, which we have currently implemented. As we go deeper, these will be explained. You definitely want to optimize your efforts. The Team A leader that was mentioned above was made the guide for Team A, B, and C. Due to his way of thinking, he attends meetings and receives objectives from management, which he then distributes to each team. This senior developer works like a DevOps engineer. More on that later. Team members must go through a knowledge sharing for 2 hours every Friday. All projects must be done in a modular manner for easy testing and integration, but most have standardized security protocols set by InfoSec. And automation was implemented when it came to requests for changes and added to a queue to be approved in order of receipt. Automation also came by ensuring each team could implement and complete at their own pace. Within the new team mindset, they avoided long work queues and long lead times. Optimized for cost, as the teams formed now had the roles needed in each team and can facilitate a project from start to finish. Long handoff times and multiple approval process have been replaced with streamlined reports and standardized instructions on proper procedures. We now optimize for speed by creating market-oriented teams. Before the teams became market-oriented, we had to become highly functional in the architectural design we had first. We started consolidating the teams and removed many handoffs. This caused cross-management issues, which became what I mentioned above, a matrix-oriented architecture. Once we ironed out the long requests, the team started transforming into market-oriented teams. Every team member now shares a common goal in our current environment of knowledge sharing. Everyone can fill in and fix a problem if the main person is not there. Once upon a time, if something went wrong, people would literally wait until the person was off vacation before it got fixed. This is no longer the case, as knowledge transfer documents are posted on the SharePoint Document Center for anyone to learn how to do any process that is needed at any time, building a responsive team instead of a reactive team or a non-performing team. Team member qualities. Remember I mentioned knowledge sharing every Friday is now a thing? One of the main development plans was to also enroll all team members in training programs to enhance their skills. For example, I am a web developer and also a graphic artist who does server management and database management as well as networking. There is no one on the team with one skill set anymore, but all the skills you acquire should complement your main job description. So testing, operations, and security is now a part of everyone's job. I was also recently certified as a security specialist. This transformed the IT division into a market-oriented division. There is now a plan by the executive board to make IT the driver of technology and not just a support as we were once seen. Hence, your team member qualities are important to achieve this goal. Let us look at the three types. I-shaped. These are specialists. They only have expertise in one area, very few skills or experience in other areas. They often create bottlenecks quickly, insensitive to downstream waste and impact, prevents planning, flexibility, or absorption of variability. T-shaped. They are generalists. Deep expertise in one area, broad skills across many areas, can step up to remove bottlenecks, sensitive to downstream waste and impact, helps make planning flexible and absorbs variability. I would say I actually fit into the T-shaped. E-shaped. Deep expertise in a few areas, experience across many areas, proven execution skills, always innovating, almost limitless potential. The software engineer that I was speaking of before, he would probably fit into that category. Fund teams and not projects. The new director I spoke of started looking deeply at all the software that was purchased to fill needs. She decided that they should all be discontinued, for we were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on software license. She then said all the saved money would go into training and give everyone a raise, as well as to hire needed skill sets, if necessary. I will say I'm rather happy with that move. However, all the software that was discontinued must be built into the TMS. The TMS has grown since then, but it is highly manageable. It now drives many of the services the organization needs. Funding your team is more than giving them a raise or just training. Updated development tools and machines to meet the industry standards to develop at maximum capacity is also needed. Developers cannot be trying to encode a multimeter project and waiting hours, or running simulation and feeding like they're pulling teeth. Teams are also given the organizational plan and asked to document how their projects will impact that plan. The manager then takes the consolidated team reports and creates an action plan, which is then approved by the director. So each person knows how they will impact the organization and the weight of their work. Designing teams using Conway's law. While we now have one standardized senior developer who guides all the teams as to what management requires, the teams he oversees also has a project lead. The senior developer assigns himself to one team if needed and ensures all the other teams have the same functionality to run independently. This is called embedding DevOps engineer into your service teams. So a typical team consists of 2 to 3 developers, one database admin, one server admin, and usually a web developer or graphic design to help with interfaces and style sheets. So based on the image, we can categorize these. DB experts are database admins and usually server admins. Web developer could be defined as middleware experts, and developers could be defined as UI experts, along with the graphic design and sometimes web developers as well. The ops developers could be defined as UI experts. The ops engineer could be seen as the process expert. Due to every aspect of the TMS being modular, it can be poked and prodded independently of any other team. And this is what loosely coupled means. Your teams will work on projects in a modular fashion so as to avoid any major changes to affect the entire system. There was a situation once when one module went down, but all the other services were running. It was easy to isolate the issue and assign the fix to the relevant team. As such, you always want modularization in your teams. Keep team sizes small and efficient. There are times when only one project is on the table and we have all 20 people available. We, however, never throw all our eggs in the basket, for other projects still need fine-tuning and support. We still assign the typical team and may add one more developer, and the rest are assigned to staff training and certification if not needed, or support. At all times, the teams must be growing in skill, testing and improving, while still developing at a fast pace. This is called the two-pizza team, which are basically just enough team members to eat 2 pizzas. The limits on sizes gives these 4 effects. The project is never overstated or understated. Teams are always on the same page. Communication is simple and no miscommunication as to who is working on what. The purpose of the project is never lost. The project, as mentioned above, does not become more than it needs to be. The senior developer or the DevOps professional defines the project which is approved by management. He also ensures no more additional work is added until the initial project is done, unless it is a change in the correct direction, which rarely ever happens if planned well. Due to projects being done in phases, constant communication with the customer is maintained. Number 3. Smaller teams can implement projects easily and much faster, for there is no red tape to cut through or annoying long wait times. Once the required personnel are on these teams, the process becomes fully automated. 4. Many times the team lead is changed, and as such each team member gets a time to shine. Morale is boosted when a project is completed and meets the needs of the customers. The senior developer is put into the acting manager when the manager is on vacation. As such, he gains valuable experience in leading multiple other teams from other skill sets. While this is only one example of how DevOps principles can help an organization, and by far we are not yet fully perfect as we have just started applying DevOps for the past 6 months, but we have seen radical changes in our processes over this short time. There are many other cases that do exist, and not all companies will use the same path to get to their goals. To design the architecture of your organization to the best of your ability, DevOps principles can be used in many ways and fit many architectural designs that already exist. Conway's law can really help you to keep your architectural design streamlined. We will leave you with this thought. None of us is as smart as all of us. Work together to achieve more. Thank you for your time in watching this video.